And on that note, welcome everybody to this round of Killadon. Bum, bum, bum.
Why is it always me?
You deserve it.
What god are you praying to when you say that? Because apparently he's not listening.
Until you
A
give
long time ago.
until you give a good reason of why you hang out with us.
Has he
Other
actually
than-
been killed by you guys though?
No, Jay's tried.
So
multiple
it's
times
just
through
many
both
failed attempts.
Exactly.
Listen,
Many of Jay's
another time at killing the Don.
Yeah.
Without trying to kill a Don.
Off camera, every game we play.
No. You just can't win the first round. But we're gonna go around the room introducing ourselves to the person to the left.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Damian Alpizar. I will be playing Jim Jar, the rogue under gnome.
My turn. Hello, 013. I'm bringing my character back. Shoot, sorcerer, magic boy. That's it.
Namco Nemesis, your dungeon master for the evening. I will be handling the
Hey, God.
various god as well. Monsters and horrible things that I throw at the guys tonight.
And I am Hari Al Birdman. Well, that's my character's name. I'm a Don.
That's why
And
he needs to die.
I don't know.
That's why he needs to die.
This is why I always get eliminated.
He introduced himself as a bird.
That's
He
right.
has to die. He
I'm
has
a
to
monk. Just remember that.
He's a bird monk.
die. More reason to cook him.
And what are you playing?
I'm playing Drax the Hobgoblin. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to pick up where we left off on our last episode. So after a tense interrogation of one of the captured drow, the group made their way to Neverlight Grove finally, and kind of as they basked in the strange beauty of this alien world in the Underdark, a mockery of a forest and its strange inhabitants, they got a brief tour of some of the main floor before one of the other myconids approached the group, quickly did rapport spores, and then everyone heard this myconid say, "Stool, we have a problem."
Is it me, or does Stool feel like he's in trouble?
Oh, he's definitely in trouble.
Could we hear her?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. if
We're
they
double
ever did that
spored
stuff.
right now.
Double sport. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We're
a
spored with the sport.
I'm still just angrily looking
It's like
at those
a
new.
it's a communing, melding thing with everyone, and
It's a bukkake of spores.
it's a bukkake of spores. So unless anyone is interjecting, basically the myconid that walked up and said that kind of stops for a moment, and even though again, like they're alien creatures, it's a little hard to. You spent a lot of time with Stool, but still trying to understand and read mannerisms and body language from these things is still just beyond a lot of you. Some of you who've had time in the Underdark, like Jim Jar, may be a little more familiar, but none of you at this point has actually been in a myconid like colony. So all of this, the familiarity they have with each other is still a little hard to pick up. However, you do notice that there's a definite pause in whatever this myconid was about to say following that last statement. And it seems like this myconid has kind of paused and is kind of appraising and assessing the group and wondering if it's perhaps safe to speak. Stool at that point kind of, looks around and says, "It is safe. You may speak."
I'm paying absolutely no mind. I'm just looking angrily at those baby mushrooms being born.
I'm paying attention.
Can I do like insight on the? I'm trying to see, like, I understand he's saying like he's trying to get Stool, but I'm trying to get his impression. Like, is he like potentially a threat to us? Like, how does he read us?
Okay. You can roll for that.
Okay,
Well, it's
and
good being back in the saddle, man.
He's like, it was fun killing things, but now I get to kill you.
I got a 10.
You got a 10? Awesome. So with disadvantage, you want to roll again, or we'll just roll?
I mean, I can. Well, 10 is going to be the low.
So kind of piggybacking on what I said earlier, you yourself are not familiar with myconids, and again, you guys have spent time with stool, but it's still kind of hard to read, which is why the spores have been so crucial to your communication. You're not able to really discern anything other than there is not a clear threat to you from this myconid that approached.
Okay.
You said you were taking a look at the
babies.
circle of grow or sporers. So you're seeing that there is a myconid kind of standing myconid kind of standing in the center, and as it's going around and kind of like attending to the little ones, every once in a while it stops and just kind of like starts swaying as if it's maybe listening to music that only it can hear, and it's just kind of like rhythmically kind of going back and forth and getting lost for a moment, and then seems to kind of snap out of it and then goes back to attending to the little ones.
Do the little ones seem to like react and follow, or they're just doing their own shit?
They're just doing their own stuff. They're just, for the most part, they're not mature enough to really be sentient as much, so they're just kind of just there.
Gotcha. Okay.
After Stool kind of says, like, to the other myconid, it's safe, the other myconid starts to communicate and says, we have a problem. Things seem to have gotten worse since you left. I'm afraid that the other sovereign, Philo, is, and as that last thought comes through, another myconid very quickly approaches. Both of them, by the way, seem to be a little bit larger. Stool is very tall and somewhat lean, a little athletic looking somewhat, but these others are certainly bulkier, and they seem like they've maybe been around longer, they've grown for a longer time, but they're very distinguishable physically from other myconids. So this other one approaches and says, kind of joins in the mind melding commune thing, and says, we have visitors. Please welcome and feel safe here in Neverlight Grove.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Have you all come for the festivities? It is a great time indeed.
What festivities?
There's a celebration?
The wedding, of course.
You guys have weddings?
I will turn my attention to conversation now. Like, the wedding?
You all have weddings?
Well, this will be our first, but it will be perhaps the most important one.
Huh. Yeah. Hey,
If I had lips, I'd be like, "Huh?"
yeah, well,
Who's getting married?
yeah. Who's getting married?
Well, I think the best way to enjoy the spectacle is to meet her yourself. And I think perhaps the best thing you could do right now is familiarize yourself with the area, feel safe. We have, we can provide nutrients and water. Feel free to explore around.
Drugs?
And when you're ready, well, we are mushrooms. When you're ready, feel free to head to the top of the cavern here and pay homage. Join us in our celebration.
I raise my feathery hands. Is it okay if I fly?
We're not going to restrict how you move around.
Does it have to be today that we meet her? I don't know about them, but I'm pretty tired.
The sooner the better, but obviously you're very weary from your travels. Please rest, and then when you feel up for it, by all means.
What's getting worse?
Nut?
What's getting worse?
Wrong guy.
I don't.
No.
I'm trying to say this under my
I'm
breath.
not
though.
sure.
I don't care.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well,
Quick question. I'm sorry. So when you're on Spore Communique, is it like a conference call where, like, even if can I still communicate with Stool without communicating with everybody else?
That is a great question, and I will say the myconids are actually able to do that because they've got years and years of practice. You guys you guys are able to make sure that not all of your thoughts go out into the ether, but you're not adept yet at being able to pinpoint specific thoughts to a specific person in the meld.
Gotcha.
Great question, though.
We haven't
Okay.
had a long rest.
Hey, yeah, love to take you up on that. I mean, you're tired. You always look tired. Is it like kind of like we were in a conversation? We'll want to finish that one first, and then we'll check out your spot and eat and rest and all that stuff.
Yes, I must go around and check on the others anyway. We've made some changes here in Neverlight Grove, and I would say arguably for the best.
Huh.
Before anything, it's like you said. When is the wedding?
It's happening soon.
Soon. Okay, and then just so we can be respectful, of course. What's her name?
Well, this is not the kind of thing that I think it's best if you meet her first before.
Okay.
I think the problem I have is it's hard to communicate the wondrous rapture that you feel in her presence, and it's overwhelming, and it makes it difficult to think.
We're gonna meet her, but can we be taken somewhere where we can rest?
Rest. Oh yeah, we have plenty of areas around here where you can rest.
Can you show us a place where we can rest? Maybe lay our stuff down.
I think perhaps Sovereign Basidia, and then kind of indicates to the very first Myconid that approached you. I believe Sovereign Basidia can show you around.
Thank you.
Can I
appreciate
test
that.
something? I want to get.
Are you talking to the DM or to this?
Well, yeah, this is. Well, it's technically both. So I want to test something. I'm telling you, the DM.
It's like just the guy.
I want to grab a piece of paper and like some charcoal I have in my bag, and I want to write in Undercommon on it, saying, "Can you read this?" I just want to hold it up. I'm not thinking it. I just want to hold them up to the mic and see if you can read
Which
Undercommon.
one?
The second one that walked up.
The
The one that's been trying to get us to go to see the
the
person.
prim proper one.
So you hold that up in front of the second Myconid that approached, and again, it's a little hard to read, but it certainly seems a little surprised itself, and it kind of slowly nods and then starts to back away, and then briskly turns on its heels and then starts striding away to the circle of sporers.
Got it. I forgot where we were.
We lived under. Yeah.
I was thinking. I don't know why I thought thieves can't.
It's pretty common down here.
Yeah.
Were you hiding that from Stool and the other one, Sovereign Basidia?
I merely wrote down and just went like this. Technically, I guess the other one would see it if they're standing next to each other, but I was mainly aiming it at him. Think of like a kid showing them their drawing.
You weren't actively hiding it.
No,
from
not at all.
So
Just-
Stool
What did you write?
Stool sees it and just kind of like tilts his head, and he's not sure, and he's like, "What exactly?
Can I rewrite him? Oh wait, Stool doesn't know.
What exactly is this?"
So the first guy, he went like he nodded, and Stool said, "What is this?" Okay. Can I write in Primordial real quick? The same thing, and hold it up to the second guy again real quick.
And he walked away.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I do it to the first one then?
yeah. The Sovereign Basidia just kind of does the same thing, tilts his head or tilts its head, and it communicates. I'm not sure what that is. Are those magical runes?
Can you explain to the rest of the group?
He's just making sure in case we ever lose the head communication that we can still talk with you. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, and at this point, Sovereign Basidia looks over its shoulder and sees that the other Myconid is now leaving, and says, "That was Sovereign Philo.
Is that the problem?
I believe part of the problem." And it's kind of very cautiously like peeking around now to make sure no one is, coming up, and says, "Maybe it's best that we walk and I give you an actual tour, and we'll speak at points when it's safe."
Sounds good.
Okay.
So Sovereign Basidia kind of takes you down into the cavern a bit, towards the east side, and it's a little bit closer to the circle of sporers, and then starts kind of explaining their culture. Typically we have one sovereign who leads a Myconid colony, and we have lieutenants, captains, whatever you may call them, that are leaders of certain circles, which are basically like a class system that we have, where there's daily functions that are vital to our way of life that need to be upheld. We need to grow new sprouts. We need to make sure that we have, we're having explorers go and marking territory. We have hunters going and hunting for food and, for, more spore servants. Everyone has a function here. We typically have everyone do a communal melding together, and Sovereign Philo has recently changed that rule where only the leaders of each circle are communing with each other. So it's unfortunately leaving a lot of the other Myconids out of the loop. Some of them, as you can see, indicating to the circle leader and the sporers, who now is again kind of just swaying back and forth. Sovereign Basidia indicates to that Myconid and says some seem to be losing their minds. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Something is different, and I don't know what to do about it. Come, let's keep walking.
So you said normally there's only one sovereign, but you're a sovereign and he's a sovereign, so that makes two.
Yes, we've been making it work, but it is very uncommon in Myconid society. And I'm not sure if the fact that there are two sovereigns is causing the issue, or if it's something more insidious.
Based on what you're saying, it sounds like there's a clear divide in the community.
There is.
Man, the fact that we're seeing some of the effects on some of the people, is it fair to say that he might has more to his side on the divide? Like, what's the percentage that we're working with here?
It's hard to say. There are some Myconids that I hate to use this term because it's so much like the other races, but there are many that are still loyal to me. There are even circle leaders that are still loyal to me, but there are some that have been swayed by Philo and are buying into his new methods.
I have a question. Outside of the spore that you emit, when we speak in our common tongue, are you guys able to accurately understand and perceive what we're saying?
Unfortunately, no. We don't have any kind of like gestures weirdly at your ears. We don't have the things to.
So, I mean, I don't have lobes too back in here. And,
Yeah.
It's just flat.
Okay, so
You have your eyes.
Okay,
Anatomy.
that's good.
Quick question. Do you know anything about this wedding?
All I know is that many of the Myconids who have sided with Sovereign Philo have been speaking of it, and they all sound very excited, but I couldn't say exactly.
So you've not met her?
I have not.
What are some of the new methods that he's been implementing that hasn't been jiving well?
Only having circle leaders melding with each other, cutting out many of the members we have of our society.
He's cutting communication. He's keeping it down to a minimum, basically.
It's a
And then there
basis.
are favored ones that he takes up to Morris.
Ooh, what's that?
It's the giant mushroom stalk in the back, and then points to this cavern you guys are in. Huh?
Is that the one that was smacking shit before?
No,
Okay.
that was just a giant zirkwood.
Alrighty then.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
So this enormous cavern that you're in, you can see that there's like built-in steps and like a path kind of leading up in the back of it to this other very darkly obscured section of another looks like enormous cavern, and there's clearly some sort of life growing up there, because there's a lot of like the phosphorescent like bioluminescence that you've seen in your travels in the Underdark, but it is like all of that compacted into one space. So even though it's dark up there, you can see there's lots of light, and you can very briefly and indistinguishably, probably not you, but the others can kind of make out like this huge, like half-mile wide structure of a mushroom that's kind of just, kind of like peaking and growing, and you can't even see the top of it. That's where Sovereign Basidia indicates Igmor's.
Gotcha. Hey, still Sovereign, would you mind giving us just a moment? Like, you can stay right here. I'm just letting you know it's gonna be silent for like a moment.
Please.
I'm gonna talk in like regular tongue, not using sports. But so since they can't understand us, so I'm not the only one that this has to be the queen, the wedding that we each had those collective dreams about.
You were the only one that had a dream about a wedding.
No,
No,
I had
all our
I-
dreams were different.
No, but my guys said, just go with
Mushroom,
him.
whatever.
Just go with
This
him.
way, after we all talked about it, we
Yeah.
all know that there's a fucked up wedding that's supposed to be
Yes.
happening
Yeah.
soon.
Yes.
So my dream, I know for a fact, my dream was about the wedding,
My dream, I was hinted about a wedding too.
and it had a lot of spores and fungus involved with it.
Same here.
We sure want to go up
That's
at any
it.
point in time.
Real
Hold on.
quick, I'll retcon this back if I have to, but you're attempting to speak out loud while also suppress your thoughts in the... Okay, so...
Okay.
I mean, I'm
Let's
used to
do
using the message spell.
Wisdom check.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
Okay. Check or save? I guess
Yeah, we'll just do a standard wisdom check.
fucking 0 anyways. 10?
He's like, okay. He let it
I
go.
think you barely.
Yeah. Okay. So
So do we really
But
want to
do
go
we-
up there
it's just-
now?
it's
We
just-
don't even... Our goal is to get out of here. Why are we going to fuck with anyone's wedding? I'm in agreement. I don't have anything that can burn stuff, though. I can frost bitches.
I can
What?
burn.
What are you talking about? We're not gonna burn a whole community down. Are you
You
crazy?
know, they're
No.
raising happy-go-lucky monsters from the earth.
Well, and we don't know if it's them exactly. We don't. It could be
And
some
You
of them.
saw them,
But-
the little mushroom people.
but
they
also
came up
remember,
so happy from the fucking
This
earth.
is Stool's
Who's that
people.
happy to come out of the ground?
Hey, this is Stool's people.
Well,
He's our friend and
Like
ally.
your friends.
He was our companion to get here, and now he served his purpose.
Yeah, but you don't even know how to
But
get out of
I'm
here.
We have the map, and we have you, and a general understanding of what direction we were going. This was a stopping point for us.
Okay,
to
so
get.
then let's continue going, but let's not burn the place down.
Exactly.
If the wedding is here, and that bitch is up there, and we're getting creepy dreams regarding it, we should burn down the area.
No, but that's gonna just aggravate the situation. You don't even know if she's like.
I don't, but I might as well burn shit on my way out.
Let's just do this. Let's sleep on it. At least get a night,
We're not
maybe
gonna be able to
two.
sleep on it.
in
The
it.
wedding's like soon. It could be tomorrow.
That guy
tonight.
wants us to go up there ASAP, and I don't fucking trust that.
I don't trust it either.
We're gonna have to.
But we're injured. We're tired. We have stuff. We need to recoup.
Who's injured?
I'm not injured.
I mean, I'm not injured.
I thought
just-
you guys were.
We all had.
I'm just almost out of spells. I'm almost out of my usefulness, and I'm not. Ingress is almost out too.
So you want to start a war?
DM jumping in real quick. Keep in mind,
This is
we are
weak as
doing
it gets.
gritty
Yeah,
Yeah.
realism, so
I understand.
I understand. I'm trying to like see if we can
Yeah,
buy
exactly.
time.
How much time do you want to spend sleeping here in the enemy's camp? I mean,
First and foremost, we're gonna have to fight the other guy, the other sovereign. That's first and foremost.
have you not seen how many of these mushroom guys are out here? I mean, look, Stool may not be much of a fighter, but those guys are bigger than Stool.
I'm
There's
not
like
worried
100
about
of them.
This is,
We're
but
not worried about anything.
at the same time, we also are being chased. It's like we have two enemies right now, potentially, and
Make a third.
This is
that's
the
what we're
second.
talking about.
When we get downtime, remember the scroll that you and I had that deal about before?
Yes.
I think we need to maybe renegotiate that deal, because if it's something that can help us out now, we might want to know sooner than later.
Listen, if you do what you're going to do, you're going to need the scroll regardless.
I understand, but I need to know what's on it, and that's the main point.
Well,
that I
you'll-
don't know what it is.
Well, let's put it this way. You'll know when you do something like burn the place down.
Oh God! You
How would I
monster.
know? That's not gonna help me read it.
There's
I
children
need you
here.
to translate. No, there's creepy little monsters that came out the ground happy as hell. Nothing comes out the ground that happy.
That's just what he is.
I'm just
That's
saying.
speciest.
Hey, by the way, I come from underneath the ground. I'm pretty happy. Just
Did
saying.
you
say.
grow like them?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't around when I came out of my mom. That was kind of weird.
So you didn't grow out the ground. That's fine.
I could have came out of a rock
right now.
Listen.
At this point, Sovereign Basidia approaches and just kind of puts its hands up and says, I definitely don't want to intrude, but the longer we stand here, the more suspicious our activity will seem. If we want to continue the conversation, we can do that as we're walking through, and I can continue giving it.
a safe place that we can semi-rest and then continue this conversation?
Absolutely, yes. Well, I do have to,
Away from prying spores?
on the way, correct. But
Sovereign, can I ask a question?
yes,
What's the worst case scenario if you're and the other sovereign just don't get along?
Can like someone usurp power or something like that?
there is some precedent for situations like this where another sovereign has kind of risen to power, and at that point, usually the Myconid colony will split, some following one sovereign, some following the other, and then go about their separate
So why
ways.
ask Stool for why did you approach our boy Stool here? I mean, he's not a, no offense Stool, but he's not like a warrior per se.
He's not that big.
He's one of the few that I trust. Strength sometimes is not always the best asset when you're...
Or the lady, whatever the fuck is. Ladies get married.
met her.
How do you feel about arson?
How are they trying to get us to meet them if they haven't?
That's the other sovereign.
This
being.
is what Philo was referring to earlier.
They don't all look alike.
Entity he
I
refers
didn't
to.
say they did.
You mushroom racist bastard.
I didn't say they did.
This entity that Philo refers to is the Great Cedar.
Who?
The Great Cedar.
What does the Great Cedar do?
This is something that Philo has been very adamant and excited about, but
And how excited would you be about arson?
it would be very arson.
Fire. If it comes down to it and we gotta help you, and the fastest way would be through fire, how pro are you to that?
I suppose it depends on
It depends. So we have now those things that come out the ground super happy. How useful are they as meat shields? Because they didn't seem very sentient when they popped up.
Yo,
I'm just asking.
This is how. See, this is why I wanted to continue the tour. You do not understand our ways.
I don't. They were way too happy when they came
That
out.
is how Myconids are born.
But they're way too happy coming out of the ground.
let's just finish the tour,
This is
and we
how
can revisit
Myconids
that.
are spawned. That process is normal.
Happy?
The only difference is, as Myconids, we strive for balance in all things. And unfortunately, there have been a lot more of them than I would prefer to have.
Philo spreading his seeds?
I can't say that they are normal Myconids at this point, but this process itself is
I'm gonna
normal.
interject in common so you can hear me.
We'll put a pin.
It's like, listen, let's not make a third enemy out of the one guy who's trying to be our ally right now and like piss him off by threatening his children.
Stool doesn't
How about-
have kids. She has kids.
This guy's gonna take us like,
The other mice, I thought it was a chick.
you're not shielding your mind, man.
If I, you'll have to forgive me. There's not really a gender thing for them. I
Got you.
Yeah. So hey, just
Dial it down a notch.
I'm sure that
Those
when you-
things growing happily just irk me when they
Just
come out
because
the
he had a
ground.
bad life
have you-
doesn't mean
have you
everybody
ever
has to
seen
have a bad
baby
life.
ever?
No.
No. Like when you even well, no. Okay.
No.
Okay, just hold
I
on to that
promise you
thought. Pin that thought.
that's actually a normal thing. Like they normally come out that way.
Who comes out the ground happy?
Even-
That's just what I want to
Well,
know.
you came out of another creature happy. It's
I-
weird and bloody and icky.
Hey,
It's a thing.
I'm gonna just
It's a
sir,
thing.
can we just please
not a
continue
thing.
with the tour? Ignore him for a moment. Like he's
Yeah.
going through a moment. Of,
So after when Basidia first approached and told you guys have been actually walking and talking in this entire time. As you do, you actually come up to another group, circle, basically. This is the circle of builders. Usually the Myconids that are part of this circle. This is what Basidia is explaining to you. Usually the myconids in these circles are responsible for coaxing growth and the zirkwoods and animating them, and making sure that we have defenses in place, and sculpting the land around for us, and making sure that we have safety and security.
Would you say that these builders are more likened to the old ways?
I would say this particular circle is led by Gaspide, and Gaspide does seem to buy into Philo's way of thinking. I don't think Gaspide can be trusted.
So we wouldn't trust on his builders to.
Many of them have been working in the back on Igmoris.
Oh.
Okay.
Is Igmoris sentient?
Igmoris is not a sentient being like we are, like myconids are. But it is a great, vibrant life. It's a large.
How do the builders look compared to so we've seen Stool, we know that he's more of like one of the scouts. We've seen the Philo, which I'm assuming is probably one of their more fighter types. How do the builders look?
Builders are a bit more squat in stature. They're just slightly shorter and a little more compact, I would think. If you were to take maybe they're a little bit taller than like standard dwarves, but they do seem a little bit huskier and stoutly built.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we got the nursery, we got the builders. Where are your fighters, and who leads them?
That would be the circle of hunters, which actually is the next one we'll be walking by here. So as you guys approach the circle of hunters, Sovereign Basidia says Lubamoob leads our circle of hunters, and this is actually where Stool typically reports to and does side with me on matters and does not trust Philo. Lubamoob can be trusted. In fact, Lubamoob may have some errands or work that could be provided. In fact, if you're willing to help Lubamoob with some of the things that he needs done, then then I would be able to perhaps compensate. I'm an adept artificer. I can make potions and things that could potentially help you. So that is one thing to consider.
Okay, and so
Okay.
just to make sure I understand,
Potions?
so
Hunters.
far the divide is more like the builders is with the other, and then
Potions?
you
Hunters.
have the hunters.
artificers, they can make things I'm doing.
And then did I miss one other group that's
Why
with
do you
you?
There's the
Brownham.
Circle of Explorers, which
This
is actually going to be
gonna
the
be
last
next.
one that we visit.
Okay, so okay, so we'll see the
I'm gonna
Circle of
walk away
Explorers.
from you a little bit.
Or we're gonna meet Lubamu now or later?
You're welcome to come back and visit Lubamoob if you'd like. I will continue on just so I can introduce you to Rasharu.
Are we getting any quote unquote dirty looks as we walk through the different circles?
No, in fact, that's a great segue. Thank you. So as you guys are doing this, when you're in between, visiting these circles, there are myconids that are doing all various things around and crossing your path to get on the other side. And some of them, simply seem, like Stool has been basically treating you guys very friendly in a benign way. Some, however, are very excited to see you. In fact, they sometimes you've walked by and they've startled you a little bit, but they would, release some spores to communicate and say, "We are so happy that you are here for the celebration. Thank you so much. Please enjoy your stay." Many others will sometimes just be rejoicing and singing, which is a very weird thing to hear someone singing in your head from a species that doesn't normally sing. I can't even describe what that would maybe sound like. So do whatever makes sense in your head. But you've gotten mixed reactions. Nothing whatsoever has seemed threatening in a way. It's just some of there's a very big difference in the behavior.
Well,
Someone's singing in my head. I could take that.
also threatening to burn their children is also threatening too. But I'm just saying.
I know technically I want to use them as meat shields. I just asked her position arson different.
Okay,
We
we still got some more touring to do.
The last group is the Circle of Explorers. This is the circle leader, Rasharu. And Rasharu, his mannerisms are...
The names are getting me. The last one is Lube. This one's...
Rasharu has very weird mannerisms and almost seems a little paranoid if you were to guess it, like, you know, how it's behaving. It seems very wary of all of you, but then notices who you're with, Stool and Basidia, and seems to kind of sort of visibly relax a little bit, and approaches and, you know, kind of joins in the communication and says to Basidia, things have gotten dire. It's gotten worse. I still can't understand exactly what's happening, but
We can hear this?
everyone can, yeah.
What's getting worse?
Wait. Because he's talking to Sovereign Basidia. Burn
it down.
If we have to, I have our escape plans, and I have our route of escape planned. I have rations stashed along the way. All you have to do, Basidia, is say the word and we leave. Basidia at this point says, I'm not one to just abandon our home for decades now. I think we need to gather a little bit more information. Perhaps our friends can help us with that. I'll speak to them about that later, but thank you, Rasharu, for planning for the worst. I hate this.
Oh, we're kind of used to the worst, so.
Yeah, Stool
Rasharu,
can
do
vouch
we
for
have
that.
a safe place somewhat outside the city limits that these travelers can stay? Rasharu starts nodding and says, yes, I have a few places that are close by, but not too close that they can stay. They can have their privacy.
Plenty of light, right?
Rasharu leans over to Stool and says, what is that thing?
Dinner if you want.
They don't eat meat.
They can make an
But
exception.
do they?
There's a hole for that.
Still never ate
What's getting worse?
If you were paying attention on your way here, I'm sure you saw plenty of sign of the difference in behavior on some of the Myconids in this society.
You mean the everyone being happy about the event and welcoming us?
No,
That
about
part?
coming out the ground.
Yes, this wedding that Philo keeps speaking of.
Yes.
He said it was the first wedding. Do you guys not do weddings here?
As a Circle of Explorer leader, I am familiar with some of the customs of other races. We do not have paired bonding like other races do. We as a community bring forth new life when needed, and as a community raise them and teach them, and we don't have paired bonding, so this wedding is very different for our kind.
So they keep an open relationship.
Sovereign Philo has mentioned this wedding a few times. I know it's perhaps several days away, so you are welcome to stay as long as you like.
So I think the best thing to do is probably go to that location that you were all talking about, and so we can kind of clear the air about some of this stuff and see how we can help.
So Rasharu kind of beckons you guys to follow, and kind of takes you through this small little tunnel that had a little bit of like moss and fungus growing over it, so it's not very easy to see even with dark vision. It's not easy to spot the way it was hidden. Kind of pulls it aside and says 1 mile down there's going to be a breaking to the right in this tunnel, and there will be a little alcove with some rations stashed. Help yourself. I will come check on you if you'd like, but you know the way. Just please be mindful when you come back in. Make sure no one is watching as you re-enter. I'd like to keep this path hidden.
Understood.
That means no fire.
Stool at this point kind of steps up and seems a little hesitant, and Stool has kind of picked up some mannerisms from you guys based on just being around you and traveling, and Stool's wringing its hands and just kind of like, I hesitate to leave your sides, but I must inspect, I must investigate what is going on in my community.
Hey, Stool, how far can you communicate with us?
Yes, it has to be within 15, 20.
Before you leave Stoll, I have an idea. Sovereign, would you mind just backing out of the spore radius a little bit?
Sovereign, Basidia, and Rasharu both just go.
Stool, we should establish like a code word in case someone messes with your mind, and something we can say nonchalantly in conversation, but we know it's still you. Messes with your self.
Is that what you think is happening to my people? Someone's messing with their minds?
You never know. I mean, I'm just saying, better safe than sorry. It'd be worse if you went off on your own and then you get messed with and then you come back and you betray us. Because then I gotta kill you and everything about your city. So I don't want to do that.
Is it outside of the realm of possibility that you can be spored in a manner of speaking like you would to other
or via magical
creatures?
means?
I don't know of any spores that do that, but
Because you know nothing about this queen, this marriage. There could be a magic that they have that you're not aware of or are not resistant to.
your plan seems practical. I will investigate, and if I return, what should I say to prove that it's me?
Chocolate chips.
Chocolate chips it is.
Chocolate chips.
Oh, we'll say that they
And if
definitely
you're-
don't know what
if
the
you're
hell
given
that is. I
asked,
mean,
we
I don't
just
even know
say
what a
the dark
chocolate
elves
chip is.
said
What is a
chocolate
chocolate
chips a
chip?
lot. You don't guys know?
Sweet. Comes from a plant. You grind it down. Sometimes you add milk. Delicious.
I must have some of these chocolate chips when we get to the top.
Ooh, they're pricey. They're about 50 gold a pod. I'll barter for you. Don't worry about it.
I've never had this.
Have you guys gone into the tunnel yet?
I figured after that, after we
we're gonna
established
go
chocolate
into
chips,
it.
we probably would have left,
All right.
right?
Do me a favor, perception from each of you.
Son of a bitch!
I got a 12.
I got a 6.
You did get a 6.
I got an 8.
So far, I'm the highest god. Come on. Come on, David. It's up to you.
I'm looking on this.
Go to
one.
Pete.
There it is.
Oh, or you could do that.
Right there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. 15.
Oof. All right.
So as you guys start peeling, the cover back and start to make your way in, both of you notice a figure off in the distance, maybe 400 feet away to your right. It's a drow, and not one of the spore servants that you've seen before. Like, you see a lot of different Underdark races down here with the Myconids that are kind of like zombified. This one seems like it's moving on its own free will.
But is it looking in our direction?
No, it's just, it's kind of walking a little,
So we got.
Do I have like a semi view of like, if I caught it from a glance, could I like turn real quick and see if it's the one that we let go before?
You mean the one that went the other
The one
way?
that I threatened that if he betrayed us, we'd track him down and kill him. That one that we let go.
I mean, could we just see if it's like someone we know in general? Because remember, there was the other drow that was in the prison.
How
cell.
far is Stool from us?
I'm just worried about who's gonna fuck us.
Has Stool left the 15 feet? Because we just said goodbye. We started going
Yeah.
into the thing. Has he gone out of the 15-foot radius yet?
I'll say he's still there with you guys, yeah.
Hey, Stool. Drow alert. Just be aware. Because he's being hunted too.
We can pin him like what 400 feet in the distance. Is what you said?
Yeah.
400 feet down.
Stool looks.
By the time we catch up, to he could sprint off too. 400 feet.
If we go stealthily, we can catch him.
Hang on. Stool takes a look.
We're trying to go into this little cave.
And Stool takes a look and sees what you guys see. And then his angle's a little bit.
You took a shit.
Wow.
Stool took a stool.
Oh, that was the dice. Okay, it was the digital dice. It's a potion thing, and when it dissipates, it apparently sounds like a flush. That's cool.
Come
so
on,
cool.
D&D Beyond. Get your sound effects right.
Anyway, Stool takes a look and actually kind of takes a step back and starts like, I think that was Sereth.
Is it the crazy one?
Yeah.
Is that the one that let us out?
I think Sereth was a crazy one that was locked up with us.
Is that like a history check to remember who Sereth is? Because we're all forgetting right now.
I have
Yeah.
my notes, but they're in my back.
And highest, if any one person meets,
I got a 15.
I got an 18.
Okay. So you guys kind of discuss a bit, and Sereth was one of the other prisoners that was with you who was initially like kind of going a little crazy because he was, according to him, confined due to him murdering another drow, which he claims he didn't do. He had slipped away as you guys were still making your way away from them, so it's especially odd to see him here. But Stool kind of says that's who he saw, and this drow that you guys are now all looking at in the distance at this point, whatever direction he was going or whatever he was doing, he, just a minute or whatever later, turns around and starts walking back down the same path. All of you get a very clear look, and it is Sereth.
Do we approach him?
No. I say we hide, because we're where the opening was with the moss cover, right? Can we just like hide so where he doesn't see us?
Yeah. It seems like he's just kind of walking around. I would say as you guys are observing him, many of the myconids that are kind of like interacting with him are the ones that seem very animated and happy. Like they're like, jumping up and down, even some of them. They're very exuberant. So
So he's in the town.
yeah.
So he's... Oh.
Yeah, he's not down in the cavern.
Don't I know you?
You son.
That's what I hear.
We're supposed to not give away our position because we're literally hiding.
In
and
a
you
secret
choose
spot.
in a secret spot that's so cold. And you...
It's too late. He done it already.
I know. I'm chewing him out in common so he can hear me.
Hey.
And you're...
Quick question.
No, no,
Quick
no,
question. Quick question. That little curtain of moss. Are we behind the curtain of moss?
I'm not behind
You're not behind
it.
it.
No.
Are we behind the curtain of moss?
I went behind it because I was hiding watching him.
I thought I was behind it.
Yeah. So anyone who decided to get behind it after.
So we're behind the curtain of moss.
He can only see me. He
can only
doesn't
see
see
you.
you.
So, all right, cool. I'm just gonna knock an arrow. I'm just gonna have an arrow just knocked, and I'm not sure who I'm gonna point it at. Whether him.
I turned to you guys. I'm like, should I knock him out again?
All right. So you're yelling to get Sereth's attention.
Technically not yelling. I whistled.
How far away are you from the mosh window?
I'm right in front
gate?
of it.
Oh my god.
All right. So you're not like being.
No.
Okay. One sec. Let me roll for this and see. So as Sereth is walking the direction and interacting with these myconids, he does hear the whistle and starts looking around and is not entirely sure where it came from, but he is looking around because he heard it.
When he starts looking my way,
How big is he?
Dancing light. Big. So like a little bulb can pop up so he can see me.
Just for scale, he's big.
Yeah, I can't grab him. I wanted to grab him so bad.
Did you hear him? He's gonna use dancing light. He's gonna throw a flare up
I'm
in front
not
of
throwing a flare.
What do you think that is?
I can make a bowl of light, jackass.
That's what a flare is.
A flare is a fucking shot up in the air.
You can still have a flare that you hold
We don't have
on
to worry
to.
about the discussion. He's
Sarah
attracting.
He's attracting attention to us. That's what I'm getting at.
He can't see you, so what's the problem?
No, it's been a few hundred feet, like 300 or 400 feet away.
Let him do his thing.
He
He doesn't do much. Let him do his thing.
So
I'm behind a curtain.
Sereth obviously sees the lights and then starts, approaching. And as he gets closer, you notice that he's smiling and doesn't seem nearly as distraught as he was before. He approaches and says, I never thought I would have seen you again.
How did you get away?
I don't know. I woke up and everyone was gone.
Can I use a perception to make sure Zareth came by himself? That like no one else followed him when he was being signaled or flared.
I mean, he walked up by himself. You know, I'm not going to make you roll for that.
Okay, I just want to make sure there was like no one tailing him or anything
Just-
like that.
My arrow's still just in the moss.
Like a sniper in the bushes.
Just waiting.
Okay.
So you just woke up and everybody was gone?
I thought you had abandoned me. I was finding my way in the darkness in the tunnels and ended up stumbling upon a trail and led me here.
And since how long have you been here?
A couple of days. I must let you know there was a drow patrol that also arrived a couple of days before me.
In town?
Yes.
And what did you see?
I didn't see them. This is simply what I've been told.
And which do you
Have
know?
you spoken to Sovereign Basidia or Philo?
Yes. What did they tell you?
Oh, Sovereign Basidia and Philo are fine people. I think that it would be wise to accept the Sovereign Philo's offer for sanctuary at the very least.
Have you gone up to the
Drow
top?
patrols won't be able to find you here.
Is he within 120 feet now that he's talking to him?
Yeah.
Okay. Just noting that. Continue conversation.
Did you go to the top and meet this? What the fuck they called it? The chick? Yeah. Oh, they only called it the queen. What did they call it earlier?
The Great Cedar?
The cedar. There we go.
Oh, the one Sovereign Philo is referring to.
Yeah.
I have not. I would say, though, that I think it would be wise to accept Philo's offer. At the very least, like I've said, it would be helpful to you in the rest of your journey to rest here and then make your way on.
Okay.
Or choose to stay. I, myself, am choosing to stay.
It's good to know that.
Where are you staying?
Don't know yet.
At that point, I'm not also pulling out a dart, just in case.
Well, I will be staying in the garden with Sovereign Philo, so if you need anything from me, please feel free to come.
I'm gonna
thank
cast
you.
a message, and I'm gonna point at him.
Okay.
'Cause I'm behind the curtain, but I can still point at him. And in the message, I want to try and change my voice, just in case he does happen to remember what it sounds like. And I'm going to say, Sovereign Philo is in the process of ratting you out to the drow. They're on their way currently. Don't trust him.
I think it's time I go.
Why? What happened? What's the sudden change in your mood?
I'm going.
All right, buddy.
And then he turns and briskly stomps away.
Okay. See you next time.
I need all the chaos I can get when the time comes.
And when he walks away enough, you happy now? And I let. He's gone.
I just pulled my arrow back there.
And I walk away from the curtain. I'm not even going in there. I'm just going out, see what's up in the town.
You're in the town?
So he's going by himself.
Yes.
Okay, and the rest of you, I'm guessing, are going on to the little hideout that Rasharu has prepared?
I am.
All right, what do you want to do?
I want to go meet the succubus.
The who?
He wants to go meet the lady.
The Great Cedar.
Okay, so you're going to head that direction?
Yeah.
Okay. As you start walking that direction, a lot of the myconids are kind of heading that way as well. And a lot of the animated, yeah, they're singing and dancing and having a good time.
It's a Halloween adventure all over again.
Let me see here.
Did we not come to play D&D, or did we come to play Little Bitches?
I want to finish a campaign. I
I
want to die.
I like to get past level 5. Or even get there.
I'll have to get to level 10 one day.
Start off at level 9.
So, as you are making your way, you're further surrounded by now several dozen other myconids that are all kind of like almost in a, a herd-like manner. It's making it very difficult for you to not go the same direction they're going. And as you do, a few of them are leaning into you and releasing spores onto you. However, the last two that do that, the spores seem a little different. So I am going to need you to roll a Constitution save.
I should have bought my lunacy coins.
9.
Fucking A.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm rolling this huge ass D20 because I don't got a D20.
Okay.
Well, I can't find a D20.
I got an extra.
I got some.
I use your extra. Maybe I'll bring the good luck.
We're gonna have to kill him. We're gonna have to kill him.
You know what's funny, everybody? They were talking about killing me early off.
That's an option. I could just make you fight him and then just kill you both.
I mean,
You both one stone.
All right. Roll a D100. So that's going to be... actually, I'll just do it.
That's no bueno.
Well, I think it's
I'm enjoying
2
the
and
ride.
You are now afflicted with madness.
You should have brought the lunacy coins. God damn it.
Okay, so you're going to continue to have visions that others around you don't see. So at random points as we're playing until you're cured, I'm going to just describe horrific things that your character is going to see.
Yes.
At this point, oh, that's right. 2 of them blasted you.
Yeah.
Do another saving throw.
Take
for
the
me.
test again.
One day. 9 again.
Wow.
You gotta keep it in the tray, man. Keep it in the tray. It's
I
more
don't-
luck in the tray.
I don't.
Listen,
it didn't
it
work the
bounced
first
out.
time. Let me just try one thing. We're going. Wow.
88 this time.
Ooh.
You
You have to turn the page on that one.
Insta death.
You're going to have disadvantage on intelligence, any intelligence-related checks,
Oh well, that's nothing new.
and
God, I hope they make
I think. Oh yeah. Okay.
There's a lot.
So I can't technically give you the name of this specific disease because it'll kind of tip the hand of what's going on. I will say,
So urinary tract infection.
please do not fail another one because, well,
Doesn't matter. It's just fine. Just leave it at that. Just
Just
leave it
don't-
at that.
Don't fail.
yeah, don't fail another one.
This is what Landre is for. You got to leave something to
Yeah.
the mind.
I think, though, probably a good time for us to go ahead and stop and pause there. Thank you so much for watching.